Here in Trinidad, we're accustomed to hearing one version of events when police are involved in fatal shootings. The official statement comes out, the words exchange of gunfire gets used, and most times that's where the story ends. But this time, something different happened because CCTV footage surfaced. Footage obtained by the Ian Alleyne Network, and it appears to show a man with both arms out of his vehicle in surrender moments before the police opened fire. And that video contradicts what was directly reported by the police officers. So the question now is simple. If the footage shows one thing, but the story says another, who are we to believe? When this incident first came into public notice, it followed a similar pattern that does involve all police shootings in Trinidad and Tobago. Police officers reported that there was an exchange of gunfire, that they were fired upon first, and they only retaliated when their lives were in immediate threat, and that the use of deadly force in that circumstance was justified. But in cases like these, the way you word something or the words that you use matters a lot, because an exchange of gunfire implies two things: that the suspect was armed and that the suspect was actively firing at the police officers. And when you frame something like that, it literally justifies what you do. And to be honest, that narrative held up until Ian Alleyne get a hold of CCTV footage showing the incident actually taking place. Because what people immediately notice when looking at that video, the driver's vehicle comes to a complete stop. It looked like the vehicle crashed. The driver places both hands outside the window of the vehicle, showing that his hands are empty and he's surrendering. His hands were up. There was no weapon visible, and no shots were fired from inside the car out to the police officers. And yet seconds later, police officers position themselves right around this vehicle and open fire. And what makes this more disturbing is the fact that the passenger in the vehicle was the man's partner, and she was pregnant. While the man in question did die, the driver of the vehicle was shot to death, she was also shot, and she is now paralyzed. So basically, there is not one life ended, you just end two lives there. And I mean, nobody trying to downplay police doing their job, but responsibility comes with the authority that you have as a police officer. And from what we saw in the video there, wow. Because this is where the story now shifts from a police operation into a public accountability issue. Because this video don't matter, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to downplay what actually happened to these people. It don't matter because there was a shooting in the video. This video matters because it solidifies or it makes concrete what people in Trinidad have been saying for the longest while. That police reports can't always be trusted, that officers lie in the statements that they're making, and that the authority that we give them gets abused and turned on us. And the icing on top of that whole cake is accountability does only happen when something leaks. When an issue like, if it wasn't for that CCTV footage, this is another issue that would have been buried, like so many others. Because for years, people saying this, that the official events really match up to what the police reports be saying. And most of the time, there is no footage. Well, in the past, most of the time, there was no footage. So the public was just expected to accept whatever information or report that the police pushed on them or pushed towards them. But this time, it had footage, and the footage shows something completely different from what the report's saying. And this is why conversations about expanding the authority of the police, things like SOEs, and the new so that they want to implement. This is why these things sound so good on paper, but feels so dangerous in reality. Because giving more authority to an institution of people who already abuses the authority that they have, it don't make people safer. It just removes more consequences. Basically, you can't fix a trust problem by increasing power. You fix it by telling the truth and holding the responsible parties accountable. Now, after Ian Alleyne shared the footage, the CCTV footage, and it went viral, the TTPS came out to give a statement of their own. They acknowledged the existence of the video, and they said that an investigation is underway. Now, they did not deny what was seen in the footage. They did not claim that it was fake either. They said that they were reviewing it. But here is the problem with that, right? Investigations like this only matter if the outcomes is brought to the public, right? It makes no sense all they do this internal investigation and keep it private and hush-hush. Get the police officers involved, paid leave, and just demote them to SRP had them ride at desk or something for a couple months. The public need to know the outcome of what's going on here. Because a private investigation don't mean nothing to our population that just watch a video where a man surrender, put his hands out of the car, show that he was unarmed, while police position themselves around his vehicle, surrounded and open fire, seeing an unarmed man and a pregnant woman in the vehicle. And before, how to phrase this, boy, before the dick riders come and attack me, right? Nobody's saying that the police not supposed to do their job. Everybody know that sometimes force is necessary. Everybody know that sometimes using your firearm is necessary. The issue is whether we are being told the truth about what they are doing. Why the TTPS don't use the available body cams that we spend so much of our taxpayer money getting for them? If this footage that Ian Alleyne obtained is real, because remember, the police did not dispute whether it was real or fake. They said they're going to launch an investigation into what happened. So if this is true, then these police officers were lying. And it's not one police officer, because if you saw the video, you will see how much of them surround the vehicle and just empty the clip. And in a society where the only form of accountability for police officers could come from a leaked CCTV footage, that should worry everybody, and not just civilians, honest police officers who don't get themselves involved in stupidness. At the end of the day, this video forces an uncomfortable reality into the forefront. The public don't no longer trust the word of police officers or their reports. They trust actual video footage. And until transparency becomes the rule instead of the exception, every police shooting will be treated not as a tragedy, but as a potential cover-up. Because in 2026, the most powerful statement doesn't come from a witness, it comes from video footage. CCTV cameras everywhere that capturing what you're doing. And the biggest question is, why is the TTPS not using the body cams that the taxpayers spend so much money to get? At the end of the day, a man lost his life. A woman was shot and is now paralyzed, a pregnant woman. And if these people's only offense was a non-violent crime, this is way beyond what is necessary to apprehend one man and a pregnant woman. Understand what I'm saying? If the crime that they committed, nobody knew if they commit a crime or not. If they commit a crime and the crime they committed is a non-violent crime, this what the police officers do is beyond what is necessary to apprehend somebody who is a non-violent threat. We all saw the video, right? Now, you could leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. For Them Fellas Reviews, is Jeremy. Our thoughts and prayers are with the young lady who is now paralyzed and pregnant. I'll see everybody next one. Later.